They say they don't make them like they used to. In an era of sports science, protective vests, and calculated risks, one man stood as a defiant throwback to a blood and guts era. He didn't care about the points, and he certainly didn't care about his own safety. He only cared about one thing: being the baddest man on the dirt. Today, we're diving deep into the career of the Dragon Slayer, J.B. Mauney. We're looking at how his ride anything mentality redefined toughness, and why the modern era of bull riding may never see his like again. If you grew up watching the legends, the Freckles Browns, the Lane Frosts, you know that rodeo used to be about more than just a paycheck. It was about pride. It was about the man versus the beast. For the last 2 decades, J.B. Mauney was the bridge to that golden age. A 2-time PBR World Champion with over $7 million in earnings, J.B. didn't just participate in the sport, he dominated its soul. While modern riders often play the numbers game, picking bulls that offer the smoothest path to a 90-point score, J.B. did the opposite. In this video, we're exploring the legendary toughness of a man who broke nearly every bone in his body, but refused to bow out. We're talking about the night he ended the greatest streak in sports history, and why his retirement marks the end of an era for every fan who values grit over strategy. Section 1. The old school mentality in a new world. Let's talk about the old school. Today, professional bull riding is a science. Riders have trainers, physical therapists, and sports psychologists. They look at the bull draft like a chess match, often picking bulls they know they can ride to a safe 85. But J.B. Mauney, he was a different breed. J.B. operated on a simple, legendary rule. If you want to be the best, you have to ride the best. When J.B. had the first pick, he didn't look for the easy day. He looked for the rankest bull in the pens, the ones the other guys were praying they didn't draw. He had a ride anything mentality that felt like a whisper from the 1960s. He wasn't there to survive 8 seconds. He was there to conquer the impossible. I want to hear from you in the comments. Who do you think is the toughest bull rider of all time? Is it JB, or does someone like Lane Frost or Tough Hedeman still hold the crown in your eyes? Let's talk about it below. Section 2. The Dragon Slayer vs. Bushwacker. Every hero needs a villain. For J.B. Mauney, that villain was a 1,700-pound bovine powerhouse named Bushwacker. In 2013, Bushwacker was more than a bull, he was an invincible force. He had bucked off 42 consecutive riders at the elite level. He was the dragon that no one could slay. Most riders would have been happy just to stay on for 4 seconds and take the buck off. But JB didn't believe in unrideable. When the gate swung open in Tulsa, the world stopped. JB matched every jump, every change in direction, with a fluidity that looked like a dance with death. When the whistle blew at 8 seconds, the streak was over. 95.25 points. It remains one of the greatest moments in the history of the sport. That's why they called him the Dragon Slayer. He didn't just win, he took the bull's dignity. Section 3. The price of toughness. But that old school mentality comes with a heavy price. J.B. Mauney's body was a roadmap of pain. In the modern era, if a rider's groin is slightly pulled, they might take a few weeks off to recover. J.B. once rode with a broken riding hand, switching to his offhand and still winning. He rode with his jaw wired shut. He rode with a shoulder held together by screws and sheer willpower. But even the toughest steel eventually snaps. In September 2023, in Lewiston, Idaho, the ride finally ended. A wreck resulted in a broken neck, requiring surgery to fasten his vertebrae together with plates and screws. At 36 years old, the Dragon Slayer was forced to hang up his spurs, not because his heart gave out, but because his body finally said no more. Section 4. The legacy and the contrast. So how do we compare JB to the modern era? Today's riders are incredible athletes, perhaps more athletic in a traditional sense than JB ever was. But there's a grit that is fading from the sport. J.B. Mauney represented a time when you didn't complain, you didn't make excuses, and you never ever turned down a challenge. He was a 2-time world champion, but his legacy isn't in the gold buckles, it's in the way he made us feel. He made us believe that a man with enough try could conquer anything. JB Mauney left the dirt on his own terms, leaving behind a hole in the sport that may never be filled. He was the last of the old-school gunslingers in a world of calculated professionals. If you enjoyed this look back at a true legend, do us a favor. Hit that like button. It helps us keep the stories of these legends alive. And if you want more deep dives into rodeo history and the icons who built this sport, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Before you go, tell me, what was your favorite JB Mauney moment? Was it the Bushwacker ride, or one of his many Iron Man performances through injury? Thanks for watching. Keep your chin down and your spurs sharp. We'll see you in the next one.